We are here. We are here, or as we like to say here, folks.
We're here. We're queer. Let's get our asses in gear.
All right, let's check now while we're waiting on people to load up. We got to check on the YouTube to see where they're at, see who's coming where and where everybody is. So we could see some different talking and get some people talking about this. Okay, there it is. Going to there. Because we're live, pal. Let's find out. Okay. There it is. Cav After Dark. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay, that's okay. Let's see. Everything's set. There's a Q&A poll we could do on here. All kind of things. All right. We don't do this live very often at all, do we? So that is the so I could hear everything and go through this. Now, let me turn this volume all the way down, and then we can do this and go all the way to live. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we'll get things set up while people are getting ready and showing up and all that good stuff. Okay. Let's get our notes ready for what a Smackdown, huh? Oh, it's a big, scary Smackdown we had. Better than we've been having, that's for sure. It was much better than it was. So let's get in here and go into our notes. It's one of those things that you need like a countdown timer so everybody knows, oh, it's 10 minutes until he pops on, things like that. That's what needs to be going on for the future in here. But since, God, I think we've done this once ever. So it's not something that we normally do. But why not just do Cav After Dark, right? And start talking about nonsense. It all started because the wife was going out of town for the weekend. She has like birthday things with friends and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing shit. So why not? Let's just jump on and run through and do a show. I'm like, now what's the dog barking at, right? It's gonna be one of these fucking nightmares, right? This is gonna be the show tonight. God knows there's fucking creatures outside. There's fucking, I'll be surprised if fucking Bigfoot walked through at one point. But yeah, so that's what happens when you live in the fucking woods. But what are you gonna fucking do? So why not? Let's just start getting into this. People could pop on and people could check things out. God knows if I have the settings even correctly for people to jump on here and fill up a room. God knows. But I'm trying to get this channel built up. That's the main thing at this point. I want the channel to get built up and have multiple subscribers and things on this channel. So that's the thought. And our guy Greg puts up all these different shows, all of our clips and everything. And so some of these clips are getting some views. And then you got ones that have like 9 people that, check them out and things like that. But, as it goes along, I would think if we do engagement more on this thing, it will get better and better and go on from there. So why not start popping on here and there? I think I should make Fausty do this every time, right? Faust, go on there and go talk. Why not do something? So, all right, let's just get into it. And like I said, we'll start going along, and how things go, right? Okay. So we get a thing with everybody arriving, of course, as we always do, with Lashley and Nia, and then the Bella twins are there, and then all of a sudden we see old Kip Wilson coming in, and he has a Jelly Roll album that he has to put on the floor and wipe his feet on, and then Jelly Roll arrives in the back in his truck, and everybody runs out to the parking lot. This is the big deal. Everyone is running out to the parking lot to see what's going on. So you go, okay, all right, let's get a hot start here. Let's get something going on and see what we can get to start these shows, because these shows have been not that great when it comes down to it. The lead in for WrestleMania has been shit, so to speak. So we're going to get things going and try to have Mania season is what we're going to do. So everyone runs, and it is Drew who has ran his car into Fatu's car. He tears the windshield off the car, which I'm like, oh, I'm glad you taped your hands up. Now I see why they're taped up. You're tearing the windshield off so you don't kill yourself and your hands are ripped off. He pulls Fatu out of the car and straight legit starts bashing him in the forehead, starts punching him and punching him and punching him. So you get him bloody, and he's always wearing all his fucking red at all times now, right? That's what he does constantly, wears his red. So they start fighting. Everybody comes to fucking help. Drew now starts yelling in the ring. He starts screaming and yelling, and Aldis comes out and he says, "You're looking to get unemployment. You're going to get out of here. You're going to get fired." And he says, "Oh, you'd love it if I would quit. All the guys in the back would love it. Your son." He brings up his son. And he said, your kid should be ashamed of his father for being a corporate stooge, which he's pissed off. You know, this makes me always think they're going to have a match, but obviously we're not going that direction because we know what WrestleMania is going with. But it does certainly seem like that's what they want to do. Fatu comes out. So even as Fatu was dead, he still rises from the dead to come out to fight, to show, you know, he's a badass, right? He comes out there and he starts throwing Drew around. He throws him on over the desk, puts him on the desk, beats the shit out of him a bit. And then he's being escorted out and he's going into the crowd and he's being told to leave. He then runs and jumps up on the barrier in the barricade and splashes Drew through the table. And I said, all right, now we've started something now. Now we've got something to start with, and we're going to do this, right? So, okay, we got something going on. It's better than what we've had going on for the last few weeks, and they seem to start shows decently, and then it's a lot downhill. I didn't think this show was a bad show by any means. I actually thought they picked up the pace a bit. So we'll go out from here. Priest and Truth versus the motherfucking Tongans. And my thoughts right off the bat were that you could go both ways here, and you're like, oh, I wonder, because the other ones have barely had the belt. But I went the way of, I think Truth and Priest are winning these belts because I think the Wyatts will come to screw them. And I would expect the Wyatts' excuse to say something like, oh, it's, you take our lantern, and this is what matters to you is the belts, so we'll take the belts. Hey, Al Patron, you're on here. Look at that. He slipped a little on that jump. Which jump? Who are we talking about? Whose jump? Because there's a lot of jumping on tonight. Everybody was jumping. I don't think we're talking about falling off at the end of the night, falling off the stage or anything like that, or the scaffolding above. So, when he jumped onto Drew on the table, yes, he did. He looked like he barely reached his feet. His feet shot out from under him, but at least you imagine how bad that would have been if he missed and just stabbed himself in the belly as he went on there. That'd be great. So going on from here, we have the MFTs, like I said, and I thought that the Wyatts would come out to screw them because, well, you took something that mattered to us. We're going to have something taken from what you liked. So, and especially when I see now JC Mateo is in this match, and it's not Solo. It's not they're doing the Freebirds thing. So I'm like, oh, Okay, no, we know what's going to happen here. We know who's going to lose the titles. It's modern day Mark Davis is in the ring. I got it. Meanwhile, this guy could probably beat the shit out of everybody. So, Mr. Olympics, but he's the jobber. I don't know why he wouldn't do the shot. I mean, the boiler that he has. Come on, have some pride in yourself. I don't understand why Nia wouldn't do that, and mostly I don't understand why Deonna Purrazzo wouldn't have done that while she is off TV. Transforming your body and being like, all right, I'm ready to work, and go just show up to fucking work and go, hey, Tony, like nothing happened. Hey, Tony, you have your abs out. No, she's sitting need a pasta. That's fine. But this isn't AEW, so we'll go on from there. They need to unify these belts in my mind. They need to unify the tag belts badly. And I think these are the belts that they need to keep. The look of the belts. They look like the old school 80s belts. They were my favorite ones of the tag team belts. Got to keep those. Those other round pieces of shit that the Usos have are terrible. So get rid of those. And I mean, how bad is the tag division? And they split it in half. There are no tag teams and they split it in half. Like, this is the worst thing possible. There needs to be one tag team champions. Is that hard to say? One, and with an S at the end, champions. Okay. And they can wander from show to show. That would be fine to do. They need to do this. I would love it if it was one everything, one world title, all that stuff. Let's go old school. I get the world titles having, two things going on at the same time. It kind of works. I would still take just the one belt and would be fine with it. Let's go old school. Not everybody needs to be a champion. Not everybody has to be in a championship match. You could earn it, and it's like top tier things. You could do this. So we'll see if they ever end up trying to do this. But as it is for now, we are kind of screwed. But we all know Tama Tonga, who we call the motherfucking Tongan. He is the star of this group. So when they split up, which you see later in this show that it is possible that there might be some split going on. And because we have seen Shinsuke doing the thing, getting in the ear, that kind of thing. So you see it. So I know he's going to be the star in this group. I wonder if any of the rest of them have jobs. I'm worried about the tall one. He's there because he's tall. What's he going to do? We don't have a personality. They haven't even introduced him to us. He hasn't spoke. He hasn't said a word. He hasn't spoken. And they need to just show us some personalities, people. Otherwise, we know Camacho will be gone. He'll be the first one out of here. So I'm shocked he still has a job. So during this, R-Truth is about to win. He puts on the, not the AA, the crossface thing, the STFU. And he's close to the rope, so you know something's up. Solo distracts. Tall Tongan pulls him out of the ring. He choke slams him on the apron, rolls him back in, and I think this is how this is going to finish, but he actually kicks out because he is staring at the referee, doing that whole deal. There's an AA by Truth and we get new tag team champions, which is great. I'm happy for Truth. He looked like, oh, finally, I'm doing something. They said, oh, they brought in Danhausen to take over that role. I could actually have a match and win something and not be just a goof. And Priest laughing was great, too. Like, how the hell did we win these belts? Look at me and you. We're tag team champions, which was fun to see. So I was fine with it. I think they will do better with these belts than, obviously, what has been going on. What has been going on, actually, from the Wyatts and the MFTs when they've each had the belt. It's been horrible each way. I guess there's been matches with the Wyatts and other people. I think there's been 2 other title defenses. Who the hell even remember? Little Miss Asshole is in the back interviewing the Bellas. Low key, Brie got herself a pair of tits. How about that? Not as drastic as her sister, but she did get tits. She used to have she had the flapjacks. She had those sunny side ups. So she got some titties and she'd like to show them a little bit. Charlotte and Bliss come in eating ice cream. That's the thing now, I guess, because Charlotte was eating ice cream last time and she was, all upset by life or whatever it was. So yes, the crowd finally did react to the Wyatts. Finally, something was going on. It was like, oh, because there was a brawl, get something going. I don't even know how it's possible to react to the why. It's a great idea, but I mean, fuck. The main guy's dead. What are you gonna do? You feel bad for Bo. You want him to have something going on, but it's a little rough. I think when it comes down to it, how about writing? If it's a good story and good writing, it'd be fine. They don't even have Nikki Cross doesn't run nothing. So whatever. So Charlotte and Bliss come by eating their ice cream. They say, oh, don't worry. We're not going to be out there because we don't need to be the center of attention. Remember this for later. Whoever wins, we just have next. And they eat the ice cream. And Nikki says, oh, I want you to come out there to see how real legends actually, have a match. And it's like, oh, how dare. And I was offended more than anybody else. Legends. I'm supposed to be thinking Nikki's a legend. I'm going to watch this. Okay. Oh, let me take a course. Let me get on my pad and paper. I need to find out how Nikki wrestled here. So then Brie takes a ice cream from Alexa, takes the spoon, and Alexa's like, you motherfucker. And I'm like, Alexa, I don't think had a bite because she's a waif. We know she, had issues. So she's not eating any of the ice cream. And Brie has the Shawn Michaels pants all the way up to her tits, so she is eating ice cream. Candace in the back with Johnny. Danhausen comes in, and I actually say, oh, this is going to be great. What a letdown. Nothing happens. I thought we're going to get something good, which was funny because Danhausen starts knocking on him, saying, what is this? What's going on here? Yeah, the Miss Lingus ladies do look good. That's what's coming up. And round 2 is going on right now. Everybody vote. It's pin tweet at Lingus Mafia. Make sure you get up and vote. So Candace is there. Danhausen comes in and she goes, can you break the curse? And he goes, do you have 20 human dollars? And she pulls out 20 out of his pocket and he looks at it and the camera kind of goes off to the side with her and he just leaves. And I'm like, so he steals the money and just leaves. I'm like, it could have been, we could have had something. He could have said he's not cursed and, he's just an asshole or something. He had something and take the money. We didn't get anything. I expected a lot more. The Micro Machines walk by. One of them wants to see Candace, but the other one's like, come on, let's have a match. I can't tell you who's Shelly and who's Sabin. I think the one who looks like AJ Kirsch is Sabin. Am I wrong there? The one who looks like AJ Kirsch is Sabin, right? And Shelly, no. I think I'm backwards, actually. Yes, that dude, that one guy's eyes are too close together. Who is that, though? Is it Shelly or Sabin? Whose eyes are too close together? Which guy is that? Help me out in the chat here. I don't know who's who. I never understand. I think Sabin is the guy with that looks like AJ Kirsch. I'm not sure. So let me know. They come by, but they're like, they have a match. Keep going. So we get now fake reactors. Should I do that? Should I come on here and start to go, oh, Randy, what are you doing? I can't believe you've betrayed us. And have like a napkin and wipe my eyes or something so I can get on this? The guy from It's Still Real to Us, he does a show. And he was at my nephew, Nicky Finger's wedding. And I was going to talk to him and say, hey, but, basically, they should come up to me, really. I mean, who we lying to here? The guy's like fucking 7 feet tall, too. It's wild. He's a fucking, like an ogre. He's a monster. So, yeah, fake reactors. And I want to do this the same way as I was, Shelly is the one with the closed eyes. So Sabin is the one that looks like AJ Kirsch. I'll forget this in 2 seconds. I'll forget this real quickly. I don't even remember what the fuck was. So I want to start doing those reactor videos just so I could laugh. And all of our guys, all of our people know the Iggy and that I'm fucking around to get on TV. The same way as I'm trying to tweet and get on AEW by having each letter spell something. And I keep doing it to where it says AEW Dynamite sucks. I keep putting it out. I didn't do it this week because I didn't watch as it went on. So I encourage everybody to do the same thing. Try to put an acronym out there and have it say something, just so we could fucking laugh when it goes on. And people will probably tweet you and go, "What a fucking loser! You jerk off to AEW," and then go, "First letter of each word, asshole." That's all you got to do. That'll be fun. Let's see. Little Miss Assholes with Sammy. He says he should focus on those blacks. But Cody's on his mind. Cody tries to be good. I see him put in the time. I see him put in the effort with the, kisses babies. And where did that get him? He was left in a pool of his own piss and blood. And then I see Randy. And he's an absolute asshole. And look what he did last week. He fucking tried to get murder charges brought on him. And where'd that leave him? He sat in the ring with the title. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Sammy. I don't know if he's just going to be a bad guy, which makes no sense because within a year, if they actually go to Saudi, it might get. Let's hope that gets canceled. And we don't have Mania in Saudi. I don't want Mania in Saudi, even though I expect it to be enormous and everybody under the sun will be there. I just don't want it there. And I have no fucking real reason why. It's like, I just don't. It's not like I'm going, but no. Go to fucking England. How about that? Do Wembley finally. Let's fucking break that record. Have that fucking bitch full. All right. Trick comes by during this interview and he says, "Oh, what happened last week? You talked all your shit. The guy who was just in a car wreck, Fatu, who you can't keep down. One guy fucking beat him though last week, and that was me. Let's talk about it." And Sammy says, "Why don't we just have a match? I'm tired of you with this fucking mouth." He's sick of it. And he says, "Why don't you just have me have a match and I'll come out to watch. I'll come out to watch and see what happens tonight." And so he says, "Maybe I'll have my Palm Pilot out." And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? My Palm Pilot out and I'll take notes. So yeah, it's true. Also, Patron, we don't want turtlenecks in Saudi. All the women looking hot for Mania and have their nice outfits, and they got to dress like Power Rangers. Who wants to see that either? Yeah, I agree with you. That kind of ruins things. And I really think they should have said they should have been a team. And when Vince first did this, and they said no women, because at first it was no women. And now it was women in full fucking outfits plus a t-shirt. Now it's full outfits without the t-shirt. But Vince should have said, "Listen, either it's my whole crew, we're a fucking family here, or we're not fucking going." Money grub. He's like, "Nah, fuck those girls. Fuck them hoes," right? That's all he said. Yeah, we still haven't found out if they have cut out the women's segments, because that's my first thought. Are you just not allowed to be half naked in person, but you can be on TV? That's what I'm thinking it is, because they wouldn't know any of these people. They go, "Who's that? I've never seen her in my life." How could Tiffany be on their television when she barely has anything on? So, all right, let's go on to here. Fraxium versus the Micros. I ain't got much to say about this match other than the ending. This was the match of the night that I could give really two shits about. I was fucking busy trying to clean up a room. Fraxium, Micros. Candice shows up at the end here and clocks Nathan Frazier, and one of the Micros rolls up. Exactly. And after the match, well, actually, the end of the match, clocks him and rolls over. But which one? See, it's the AJ Kirsch guy who gets the pin. Is he the one they said didn't know what happened? And the other one with the eyes close together, he's friends with her, right? Am I right about that? So he was looking at her, and I'm like, oh, they're going to have a storyline like, "Hey, your husband's comatose. You want to fuck?" That's where I'm going with this. I said, it's going to be like Murders and Mistresses. He's going to be like, "I know Johnny's wife is insatiable. Let's go off to he could watch. He's comatose. He just watch this." I don't know what they're doing with him at this point. He needs to be let go and just go to AEW. I'd be fine with him going there. All right, let's see here. We get Randy. Randy's going to talk in the ring. He sits in the ring and talks. The new age of wrestling that we're in is bizarre world, by the way, because do you think the fans should like play in and like we all know what's up. Should the fans play along and boo and say he's supposed to be a bad guy? Maybe we should help and boo. I've never seen anybody more cheered. This guy was cheered out of his fucking mind. So he sits in the ring and he says, "Oh, for years I come out here and you guys sing my music." And quite frankly, it hasn't been years that people have been singing his music. He's been gone. So, he's been there. They sing his music and he goes, "Oh, and I love that feeling. And I try to return it." He gives high fives and signs action figures and he signs different things. And I see people with happy birthday signs and I go and tell the kid happy birthday. And he goes, "I know the kid's going to remember this forever." And it puts a smile on my face. And that's the emptiest feeling I've ever had in my life. So, he flip it and be like, I hate this. I hate being a good guy. When I retire, I don't want my legacy to be a smile that I put on your face. I want it to be how many world titles I put around my waist, which is pretty good. Let's see here. It was going to be easy against Drew. And I could have been who I needed to be to get that title, but then Cody won it. I didn't know if I could do what I needed to do because I loved Cody and I still do. But he took the burden off of me and said, "You need to listen to the voices in your head. And no matter what, I'm still going to love you after this." So it's his fault. Like he unleashed it and said, "You could do whatever you want." So I don't feel bad for, killing you. That's basically it. The voices tell me I'm going to beat Cody for the title. And his head turns tomato red while he's screaming about this. And he says, "I'm going to beat Cody." And then he stands up because he waited so long and he goes, "At WrestleMania." And it sounds like he's going to continue a sentence, but it's the end of the "I'm going to beat Cody at WrestleMania." I'm like, what? So it's kind of a ending on that one. But this is what wrestling should do. They explain their actions after they do something. They don't just disappear and you don't find out why and you don't ever hear about whatever happens. Not that another company does all that. But finally, this is pretty much what they need to do. It's out of the way. However, I did say there is no mention of the phone. They didn't allude to the phone call or anything. More on this later, though. Alistair versus Sami Zayn. I worry for Alistair. That's my first note of this, not knowing what this match is going to be, because I assume Sami's going to win this match. I worry for Alistair Black. I get a little worried that he is going to be the Andrade here. Like, why did you get him? Or Rusev. Rusev's even worse. Why'd you get the guy? He's not doing anything. He's just doing the Karrion Kross gimmick and then doesn't win anything. Stay tuned. But first, in the back, we get Randy walking around and seeing Zack Ryder, who says, he's staring at him. He's like, "What, do you got something to say?" And he goes, "Yes, I do." He goes, "What the hell was that last week? I know you both for decades. This isn't right, what you did to him." And he's like, he gets pissed. "You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me." And he goes, "Don't you have some action figures to play with, you mark-ass stooge, you indie-fed stooge?" I'm like, oh my God. He really, he let him know the truth. And then he clocks him, knocks him to the ground and leaves. "Get out of my business," he says. Back to the match with Alistair and Sami. The lights go out when the match starts. And I totally forget that he was yelled about Trick. I didn't expect this. And I was like, oh shit. All right, Trick comes out. And I told you guys, I've told you, he is the next Rock. He's going to be the next Rock. He's already on that fast track this quick. Has a lot to do with his song. However, it doesn't end when his song ends. He's very, very good on the microphone. 100%. He is a star. In bold letters, as Soooo Williams would say. Star. Fucker is a star. And now a new entrance with the light shining on him when he comes out. Fantastic. I think he's great. So we're looking. I wonder if they'll do that whole double turn during like a Brett and Austin. I wouldn't. I think it's hard. I think, Trick's already basically a star, and people are booing Sami. People booed Sami during this match, during the Helluva kick, or they was about to do, people booed. And they rolled out of the ring to fight some more. And as Sammy's getting back in the ring, Trick splashes him with a drink in his back. Turns around, drops the drink. And he's going to go back in, and he goes, fuck it. And he goes and he punches Trick in the face, fights him a bit. I'm thinking he's getting counted out at that point. No, he gets in the ring and gets the spinning kick, clocks him the black mass, which he clocked him. He clocked him good, and they showed it in the replay. He got him. Definitely. And he was holding his face afterwards. It was like holding his eye. Got clipped right there. And Aleister Black wins, and God, did he need it. I am all for it. He needed it. He got it. I'm glad. Sammy didn't need it at all in the middle of this rivalry. Who cares? And it shows. Didn't have his head, in the match. He was busy with other things. Point proven. Ryder, with Aldis in the back, asking for a match with Randy, and Aldis goes, I got too much going on tonight. And I go, it's not like you're wrestling. What do you mean too much going on? Send him to the ring. And it makes more sense later, but at first I'm like, well, why the fuck not? Because what up, Jose? What up? Thanks for jumping in. I know this is a new thing for everybody to jump into here doing a live post show, but why not? I explained early in the show why I was doing it, so people can go back and have a listen if they want to. But I need like one of those 10-minute intros so people know that it's coming on, so I don't have to sit here like a lummox and talk to the wall and wait for people and just, you got to come on and go, right? That's what we got to fucking do here. All right. So Mello now shows up and talks to Aldis. What happened to the open challenge? How come it's closed? Aldis says, I was told somebody was already in line. And Dragunov, Beef Stroganoff, comes in and says, I listened to what you said last week. I can't be the man I want to be if I don't take shots that are in front of me. So he's going to take this title shot. And Mello says, it's going to be champagne for one of us and pain for the other one. And Dragunov says, yeah, pain. It's going to be either mine or yours. Yeah, we're going to get, I know Apollo does hang out a little too much with Ryder. So will Apollo now, not to jump ahead in the show, will Apollo avenge the death of Zack Ryder and finally get on TV and do something? He needs to be in AEW badly. I think Tony would love to have him in there. All right. So we see Jade now walking in the back before her segment here with not much clothes on, and I'm not very mad at it. And I said, we got to go vote for Miss Lingus. Remember, you got to remember these outfits. She's wearing like a fur coat with no top on and just those hard gimmicks in the front. I was fine with it. We get a bad promo first, but from Lashley Legend and Nia about putting pressure, big pressure like Swerve over here on Nikki and Brie, who never won a title. It's going to be Bayley and Lycra who won a piece, and Charlexa. So, we're getting that four-way. Eventually, though, we have to have, I would think it would be this week coming up. It's going to be Lycra and Bayley have to somehow weasel into this and show up. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Jade comes out with her purple fur. And the first thing I observe and think, second thing I observe is the fake snow that comes down, and I'm like, oh, what a pain in the ass. You gotta pick this shit out of your fucking fur afterwards. Jade goes to the ring and she goes, wrap it up. Pretty much the cut the shit, Tony, right? Wrap it up. I'm not here to waste people's time. Rhea, bring your ass out here. Rhea sings her way to the ring. I can't. I lose my mind. They're showing the camera from behind her walking to the ring. And there's that one part, and I'm watching from behind, and you see her one arm disappear to rub her other arm. And I'm like, somebody got to get it. Somebody got to stop her with this. And so she goes to the ring, and she's mouthing the song as she's getting in the ring. My fucking God. She drives down the road with that shit blasting. And I don't think, 100% Patron. Those things are as real as they get. They're jiggly and hangy, very much so. And they flew out too. The first episode of Raw on Netflix, her nipple was out the whole time. I tweeted it out. You go back to that date. I tweeted it out. I'm going to tweet it out. And she was standing there when Undertaker came out. Her whole nipple was fucking hanging out. It was the thing. Yeah, they get down with these fucking songs. Oh yeah, her and Buddy Matthews, they're boning while I think like Mariah Carey. We know Mariah Carey actually plays her own music while she's getting fucked. That's what Nick Cannon said. Her music, she put her own album on while she was getting fucked. I'm like, I guess when her music's on, we're all getting fucked. All right, calls her out to the ring, and so she climbs in. Jade says, you need this belt. I don't. You've been grinding to be somebody with or without this belt. I've always been that bitch. I'm not here for friends. I'm here for the money. So she's doing that whole thing, a little bit of a Ronda-esque, where it's, you need this shit. I don't care about this business. I don't care about this place. Fuck wrestling. I'm here for the paycheck. They're doing that a little bit with this here. Rhea says she does need it, and she's been busting her ass since 16. Jade says, another sob story. You're just Io's little, and then Rhea cuts her off saying, you aren't going to run down anybody in this company or this business. Rhea says, the title needs me, as I think she said she does need the title, all right? I gave you a big match, so welcome to the big leagues, bitch, which is interesting because I've always thought that Becky needs to say, welcome to the big time, bitch. And she just says, welcome to the big time. Because I always think of like Freddy Krueger when he says, welcome to primetime, bitch. And yeah, she exactly, Patron. She should have said that during the promo. And I got Ron Gant money. I don't need this fucking job. Why am I bumping around? Ron got a ton of fucking hits. And now, if she was married to Otis Nixon, then she's really there for the money because we've seen what he looked like. All right. So we go through this, right? And she says, Rhea goes, do something. I'm tired of talking. Take the first shot. She slaps her face. Give me the first shot. Do it. Do it to me now. And Jay goes, nah, on my time. On my time, I'm going to do it. And she starts to leave. And she starts to walk down the aisle. And then balls on Michin and B-Fab start to stroke from behind. They're walking down the aisle. And it's with the kendo stick. And she's like, no, you go back. And she's like, oh, fuck. She starts to go back and she looks back and Rhea's there like come on. She turns and now these two are like behind her and like soldiers. And so she looks at both of them and says, go get her. So they surround the ring going, everyone, holy shit, they've turned. So they get in the ring and they beat the shit out of Rhea. So now Rhea could beat B-Fab and Rhea could beat Michin, you know, on her way here. And I'm like, well, I got it half right. Didn't I say that I expected B-Fab to flip? I didn't expect Balls On to join, as she's been screaming at her for fucking how long and mad at her and all this shit. And it's like, you've been trying to kill her and you had a match with her last week and lost. You're like, fuck it. I'm going to be like Kevin Durant. I just join you. Fuck it. Who cares? So they leave afterward. The balls part makes no sense. Balls on Michin flipping, but she needs something to do. But I think she's just going to be the jobber of the group. The same with B-Fab. Kip or Kit, whatever the hell his name is, and Miz is in the back saying, Miz is like, it's been a shit week. Like, because he's cursed. It's been a shit week. My flight was delayed to Hawaii, and then I got a sunburn on my back. Who then Danhausen comes by and slaps their backs. Hey, hello. We should go out there together. And he's like, I'm not going to fucking get it through your Dracula brain. And I saw that pink Cadillac coming down the street where he was like, who the fuck is Dracula? Which is good. Doesn't know who it is. And he says, fine, stay cursed. And Miz is like, there's no such thing as a curse. And a ladder falls and almost fucking kills him. It eventually falls on him again. But he tells Kip, I can't hold your hand, for the mentoring. You need to go out there and talk to Jelly Roll by yourself. The MFTs being yelled at by Solo in the back. It's their fault. They lost these belts. And JC finally speaks. It's the first time I think we've heard him ever talk. And he goes, no, the Wyatts, they're the ones who did this. He goes, no, you guys lost these belts. You just kissed Mania goodbye. We got nothing going on now. You guys did this. And Tama walks to him a little bit and looks at the lantern. And the audio was bad. They got him later. They had to raise it. And he was like, why don't you give the lantern back? And like, what? He says, you're starting to sound like Roman. Which makes me start to think, okay, well, this group is now going to be done, right? And he's going to say, I'm going with my real family. This is a joke. And Solo now will be with Roman. And this bloodline is going to be back together because he was like, what did you say to me? And as he says that, Drew and Fatu come flying through the backs, beating the shit out of each other into the back. And so we don't see any conclusion to that. But that's my first thought is this bloodline thing is going back together. I think they're really trying to recapture the lightning in a bottle, and I don't know if they can. What are you going to do about it? We've already done this, but hey, T2 was better than T1, right? So maybe something is better. But Roman's got to be around. This is a problem, and I really don't think Roman is going to win this title. However, if this bloodline comes back together again, he's got to win the title, right? So, all right. Dragunov, Beef Stroganoff versus Mello for the USA title. But first, Rodman is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it won't be by Hulk Hogan. There's your spoiler. I would assume it's probably got to be Bischoff, right? I would think so. I mean, I don't know why they have to reach to get, celebrities and do. It's like, okay, he was around though. He was around, so it wasn't like he did a one-off. Like they're not gonna, Liberace's going in because he, was at Mania 1 and said, "Oh, hello," one of these things. So.
We're here, we're clear, let's get our asses in gear.
Thank you, Lee. I don't know what they want to do with Dragunov. I'm hoping this match takes us to where it's going to go next. We'll see at the end of this match as we get there. But I'm thinking he's going to flip, but this isn't AEW where you're going to have multiple of the same thing happening on a show. Where we just got the good guys flipping, with balls on and all that. So I can't imagine that we're going to do another one on the same show. They're not going to do it. AEW have 10 returns on the same show. They don't know how to spread things out. So we'll have to see how this goes. So as always, these two can go. Obviously, this is always a great match. And there is a storyline at least attached to it. First 48 gets hit, and then Dragunov does that falling fucking power punch bomb, fucking A-bomb punch that he does. And I was like, oh shit, he's going to fucking win it from there. But there's a kick out. Then a superplex off the top rope turned into a cutter by Mello, which was cool. Does Dragunov bleed every fucking match? And like hard way. He always bites his tongue or his face is bleeding. There's always something going on with him. Another charge by Dragunov and another first 48. And I figure it's done, and there's another kick out. And I go, oh, and let's calm down with the kickouts. We don't need this. It's not Mania yet. I understand, but we don't need this. A torpedo Moscow and goes for, I guess, a power bomb. Does Dragunov, and Mello flips over the top of him, sunset flip, and win. This is the workers' belt for sure. This U.S. title. There is no conclusion afterwards. Like Dragunov's just laying there holding his face, but there is no handshake afterwards. And then somebody's pissy. So we're kind of left in limbo and letting this go on to the next time and have to see what happens. So we're going to go from there and see what goes on. Jelly Roll with Priest and Truth in the back, pretty much saying congratulations. But this just leads us to Jelly walking down the hallway and seeing Randy. And Randy apologizes to him for last week. Jelly says, don't worry about me. I know what it's like to be the bad guy. I had this past, and I don't know why you're fighting the man you are. I don't know this guy. I know a good man. You have a good heart. Money doesn't last. Titles don't last. But, friends and family are where they last. And Jelly says, I know the real Randy. It's a very, very good speech for a guy who is not in the business. I didn't write down every word, but he goes on and he goes on and on. It might almost be too long, but he goes on and doesn't sound like, hold on, let me read a script and I got to remember my lines. He does a heartfelt like talking to, which was very fucking good. I'm surprised how good Jelly Roll actually is. Anybody who gets in this stuff and like puts in time and effort, I tip my fucking hat to. And they're not just, there. So now he says, but how do I fix things? You saw with Cardona. What am I going to do? Jelly Roll goes, that's the first step. It's like it's a fucking rehab, right? It's the first step. You got to find them. You got to apologize to them. And I go, Then we're going to see what happens here. Kip or Kit, whatever his name is, Wilson comes out to the ring. And he calls out Jelly Roll. And he goes, when there's a problem, we call it out and I'm going to settle it. Jelly Roll comes out pretty much running to the ring. There's no smiling, happy, big teeth Jelly Roll. He's like jogging to the ring, and he gets in the ring, and he's taking off his chain, and he gets on the mic, and he's screaming on the microphone. What do you think we're going to do here? What do you think this is? Where I'm from, you call somebody out, we're going to fight. Hey, get a referee out here. We're going to fight. And Kip says, oh, I don't fight with my we're not going to have violence. I fight with my words. So Jelly Roll says, what do you want, a battle rap? What the hell is this? Kip says, no, we're doing slam poetry. And he's got his little purse book. So Kip shits on him. I don't write down the whole rap. I'll give you the main punches. You won't have the rhyme part of it. Shits on him about his criminal record. He lost weight, and he has, all I see is a blob of fucking skin now. And Ozempic works. Next line, I saw coming up Fifth Avenue in a pink caddy, where he says he losing 300 pounds. Now he could see his little willy, because whatever he said first was, he said something about silly. And I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go with the willy, because that's an English deal. So it was very good. And the crowd was popping a lot for it. The crowd was alive for it. So now Jelly Roll standing there like, all right. He goes, I don't have a little book with me, but maybe I got something for you. And he says, you tried to destroy me, but I don't need to see my willy. Your mother sees it for me, which was good, because there's all mother lines. And then he talks about his losing weight and his belly flab. And he says he puts his belly on Kip's mother's back, which I thought was a fucking great line too. I was like, Jesus Christ, we're getting after dark over here, baby. Kip then attacks him, hits him in the head with a microphone, squishes him in the corner with some running fucking attacks, leaves him laying in the ring, goes to the top rope and does a corkscrew elbow off the top. Looks like he fucking lands on him. And this is the first time we've ever seen Kip like fucking leave the ring and not be the mush of the group here and just be laid out. So I said, okay, all right, we're getting this set for Mania. We know this. This is coming out. We'll see where we go with it. We get a little bit of something later here. We're going to the home stretch of this show. Gulia's with Kiana in the back, saying she's blaming James for losing the match. And so James seems like she's like, yeah, I got it already. I know. And she's like, now I got to deal with Tiffany because you fucking lost. So I'm like, are we going to get her turning on Gulia at Mania for Tiffany to win? And like, she's going to be getting yelled at maybe after the match? Is that what we get? Yelling at her after the match and like doing the poke and you motherfucker, and then gives her a slap and starts beating the shit out of her, and everybody will go, oh, all pop from it, right? So now she's yelling at her, and Chelsea and Alba come in saying, hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so let's work together. Ghoulie is like, I don't fucking want to work with you at all. I don't want anything to do with you. And they walk out. And then Nia walks into the screen and shoves Chelsea's wheelchair into Alba, who falls in her lap, and they roll away. And then we go into commercial. All this is with Jelly Roll, and he's holding his face. I want Kip Wilson next week. And all this goes, you got it. Or he says, I want him. And he says, you got him next week in Pittsburgh. So what do we think here? My first thought was, like, right off the bat, I go, why would you have this next week? But then I'm like, what am I, a moron? They're not going to have a fucking match. It's, if anything, it's going to stop within a minute or not even get started. It's not going to be a match. I can't imagine you're not going to get 5 minutes. And I think Miz comes to help. And I think that's what happens. And do we get fucking Royce showing up so we get this tag match? That's what I'm hoping for. We need to get Royce showing up here. And I was saying after watching the whole Stephanie deal, they keep showing him as the sympathetic figure. And now they're not showing it anymore. So a little bit out of mind. Try to get you to forget it now a little bit. So when he does show up, even though we don't know his music. I think it's just going to say Royce Keys on the Tron, so at least you know who it is, because that's what they did when at the Rumble. It said Powerhouse, and it broke through and said Royce Keys. So we'll see. Let's see here. Now we get the Bellas versus the Irresistible Forces. So the team that says they weren't coming out comes out, and like we always say, Patron, after the match. So they come out during this, and they sit down to watch, and Nia is going to go use the belt on one of the Bellas, but you have the fucking, it's a blah match, really. I was watching this. I didn't want to fast forward it because I actually wanted to see the Bellas try to actually do something, which there was nothing to watch. There was no fuck ups. It was a boring, it was there. That's what it was going on. So Charlotte stops Brie from getting hit with the belt, hits Nia. Charlotte, no shoes. I think did she come out with no shoes, or did she take them off during the fight? I would assume she walked with giant high heels to the ring. I can't imagine she walked barefoot to the ring. So they get into a fight because she stopped her from actually el-kabonging Brie, and then start, brawling with everybody. Everybody starts to fight, and everybody's pissed off at each other. And of course, Nikki's like, "You motherfucker, you!" And they like, "Oh, you don't like being interfered with after you just did it last week?" Okay, this is the storyline we're getting here. And of course, the bad guys leave everybody laying, and they're all dead. I do like that guillotine leg drop. I think Lash needs to be back a little bit further. She gets too close to where you're like, Nia's ass is going to land on somebody's head, and you're going to see it like a watermelon explode. Not her ass, her head. The head's going to explode. But I love that guillotine leg drop. It looks really good, actually. It looks like you would die from it. Randy's on the phone in the back. Well, there goes me saying the Garcia twins should be all elite. You're right. I totally thought that they were going to go there originally when because Brian's there. All he's got to do is say, "Hey, come on out here. What up, UK? What up? Welcome in." So there you go. Way to sub in there. We do this all the time. You got to look at all the old clips. Wrestlingus show every week. We never do this live. This is just for shits and giggles. But if it works, we're gonna do it every week, kind of something like that. But yeah, check out it's on wherever you get your podcasts, Wrestlingus show, if you don't already. So we get into Randy on the phone, and like I said, it is a good thing that I was like, well, why did they not mention the phone? We finally got the phone. We finally got a little bit. They didn't just ignore the phone. That's all I need, is a little bit of something that has a callback to what the hell we all are now trying to figure out what's going on, right? The Bellas are going to win the tag championships. Don't worry about that. They are going to win the tag championships. They're going to have it because they need something to do, and they have to have a bucket list, and they'll be gone in 2 years, and we won't have to deal with it anymore. So Randy's on the phone, and he goes, "I'm going to go right now. I'm glad I picked up." So it's like he called him on the phone. All right, cool. So we don't get anything else after that, though. Yeah, he's not talking to Charlotte. I know that for sure. That's the problem. I think we went through it on This Week in Wrestling. We think it's Owens on the phone, and I think that makes the most sense of anything. First thing you thought was it was going to be Ace, that his father, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense, really. Why would his father? And he's going to go, "Oh, it's good seeing you." You're not going to talk to your father like that. The last time we saw, a year ago, exactly, pretty much, right before Mania, he had to stop. Remember, Orton had to go against Joe Hendry. Did he show up? I said his name. And Owens had a whole thing with Cody. It could make sense. So yeah, I think that would be the best way to go. It is not going to be Shane McMahon. I'll eat my fucking hat if it's fucking Shane McMahon who comes out. There's no way in fucking hell. So that's Meltzer saying stupid shit. So here we go. Randy goes to the ring, kissing babies, hugging people, handshaking like he said in the beginning that he hated. It was not going to be, he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this anymore." Now he's shaking hands, and he's doing the total good guy thing. I mean, everyone watching this knows. We all know what's coming. We know what's going on here. But, let's go enjoy the ride, right? So he gets in there and he goes into the ring and he's like, oh, I need to make an apology. I feel bad what I did to Matt Cardona. So come on out here, Matt. And he comes out there and he says, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. And Cardona's like, I know about you, you motherfucker. So it's not a quick, oh, great, I'm friends again. And he's like, no, he hugs him. And you're waiting for like an RKO because that's always it's like Austin. You go, all right, where's the kick to the belly? And so now it's a lot of kicks in the dick. And he gets a kick in the dick. And he's done. And then he RKOs him. And then he starts beating the shit out of him some more. I thought he was going to bloody him up, but he didn't bloody him up. He beats the shit out of him, throws him around outside, throws him back inside, stomps the shit out of him, all this kind of stuff. And all the security people, all the suits, everybody comes out. Stop. What are you doing? What are you doing? Puts his arm in a chair. And I laughed because, you know what? I'm going to talk about that in a second, about Randy and the crowd. Because he puts Zach's arm. I call him Zack Ryder. I don't give a shit. He's always Zack Ryder to me. Puts his arm in the chair, and Zach is fighting this. Don't have my arm in the chair. Don't have my arm in the chair. Soon as everybody backs Randy up, he reaches over for a second, then realizes, oh, well, I got a spot to do. He doesn't take his arm out of the chair. He just lays there. And so Orton goes, okay, I'm not going to do anything. And then bang, he fucking stomps him and breaks his fucking arm. So I'm like, how soon are we going to see the K5 of him and Chelsea both with casts now? She'll have her leg in a cast and he'll have his arm in a cast. And I'm like, does he need to have something done? Is he like being written off for a little bit? He just got back. But I think we don't see him anyway. He's in catering with Apollo anyway. So like you said, I'm going to call you Will. That's what it is. What is your Will? What is your name? I see WIL, so I'm going to say Will. Yes, I agree. The crowd, and I mentioned this earlier in the show, should the crowd play along and know when you have to say boo and yay and go, all right, the company wants this guy to be a bad guy. Let's not fucking cheer for him doing all dastardly things. Let's boo. Play along. We all play along. We know the Iggy. It makes it more fun. He's cheered more now than he was as a good guy. So, yeah, they're like, oh, my God, look at what they've done to poor Matt Cardona. One more time. Fuck. I mean, Jesus Christ. Cody will be the away team at Mania. Guaranteed. The amount of cheering that Orton will have during Mania, and Orton needs to win the fucking title at Mania, too. You can't go through all of this and then just fucking lose. It's like, what are you doing? So he's got to win this title. And then let Cody go off, and maybe this brings KO back to do something. So, yeah, I just think Orton wins. I think it's time to let him do it. And I think they gave this belt back to him back to Cody just to lose that. But I think Orton's going to win the match. But am I going to be shocked out of my mind that they make the good guy, avenge the brutal beating? It's like, fuck, I can also see that very, very much so and happening. But I do expect Punk to win his match. So I would see bad guy wins first night, good guy wins second night. And the only way I see Roman winning that is if the whole bloodline is back together and they win because of that. But the problem is that fucking Roman isn't around. Next time we see Roman again is going to be SummerSlam. So he can't win the title. That's the problem. I could see if Punk wins, then the bloodline comes and kills him afterwards. And then you got shit with bloodline, except for Roman being there. Yeah, it's Cardona. Yeah, he got beat up twice in one night. You know what? He's probably thrilled by it because he was on TV twice. Better than he has been for a while. So, that's why, Punk would win because it's the part-time deal. That's the issue. Last three Mania builds. This one included has Cody getting killed and bloodied. Well, I mean, you know what? It's been good though. The three last builds for him have been good. The Mama Rhodes thing getting killed, that was fucking spectacular. Randy killing him, fucking spectacular too. So it's always been a good thing. So yeah, Rock and Cena, now it's Orton. So we're gonna fucking find out. So at the end of this, he kills him, and then as he's leaving the ring, though, we get on the Titantron. The fight continues with Fatu and Drew, and they're like on a scaffolding or something, right outside on a structure, as they say. And all the suits run out, and you see the fence, which is perfect. Fence is blocking. They can't get it. They're slapping the fence. Hey, what's going on? Slapping the fence, and it's them fighting up on this barrier that's up high outside and slamming their heads into the posts or the railing. And Drew's going to fall off, and he grabs Fatu on the way, and they both fall off, and we're to think that they died. They fell off this structure and both, plummeted to their deaths. And that is how we end up ending SmackDown. And that's how we go off the air. So, you know what? SmackDown has been horrible lately for the last while. This was a fucking pretty decent show. I don't think for 3 hours it's going to be, oh, this is great, this is great, this is great. You need to have, shit in the middle here and stuff, things that you don't give a fuck about, things like that. But for the most part, I think we started getting to Mania swing and started doing something. Let's see. What do you say, Will? Did you talk about WWE seeing Jade had a faction on AEW and said, let's do the baddies here? We mentioned that she had her little crew, and I had been saying for a few weeks that it was going to be BFAB. I did not see Balls on Me Chin actually joining this because it didn't make sense that she was so pissed off. And she's like so pissed off at her, and then lost the match, and now she's like, fuck it, I'll join you like Kevin Durant, right? 6.5. I think that's a little less. I think you're being a little too harsh. 6.5. I would at least 7, maybe 7.5 for me. I don't think, because it's like, well, what do you want going on, really? We're starting to build more. Aleister Black got a win. I thought that was fucking great because I was terrified of that. I'm like, great, gonna lose again. Even though it was, it helped the trick movement and shit like that. But yeah, it helps that he finally gets a win. Otherwise, he's turning into the Millie Cat. She jumped in here. The Cali girl is in the other room laying down as she was in here eating her bone earlier. But I'm watching the kids tonight as I'm solo, right? So yeah, you want less Danhausen segments or you want more Danhausen segments? You can't want less, Patron. You got to want more Danhausen. Why don't you love that Danhausen? Everybody loved Danhausen. Why you no love Danhausen? What's wrong with you? I love Danhausen. He needed to have he was there less tonight. He had 2. We saw him twice. I don't know if we see him more than twice on Raw. The one time was they weren't that great segments though when he was on tonight. I guess the better one was him and Miz and all that shit, but that was still not a fucking great one. That nothing was really going on with that. The worst one was him with the machine gun deal or with Johnny Gargano, and he just took their money and fucking left. Who gave a shit about that, really? But I think we're finally getting into the full swing of getting Mania going on. So we're getting a couple things lined up. Like I said, I think Jelly Roll is going to be with old Royce Keys, and they're going to name them Rolls Royce. And I think next week when old Kit or Kip, whatever his name is, I think that match is going to be stopped quickly because we're not going to have Jelly Roll have a match, on SmackDown. We're going to wait for WrestleMania. And I think fucking that Jelly Roll's doing a great job. A lot of these celebrities you worry about. You really get nervous about, oh, God, these guys got to talk. I mean, we've seen, the Summerfest line and all that kind of shit. So you worry about those kind of things. But I thought they did pretty well and did that. Who do you think will get cut after Mania? You know what's funny? I think we were putting together a list, and I think I did put together a list of who I thought would get cut. I might actually still have that list because it was a lot. I think we talked about it. Take it easy, Jose. Lee Fittings to you, man. Yeah, hit that road, baby, and don't crash. Go listen to Cavalier Thoughts on your trucker trip there, and you'll have something to listen to. You won't fall asleep with my nonsense, that's for sure. Let's see. This week in wrestling, where do I have it? Okay, I had the predictions for Mania. I could go over that real quick. My predictions for Mania real quickly were what we thought was going to happen. Sammy and Trick, Drew and Fatu. This was a while ago. We did this too, by the way. Usos and Vision, Cody and Randy, Rollins and Braun. Still think Braun is going to show up as one of the masked guys and do something. Roman and Punk, of course. Asuka and Io, we said. Brock Oba. Americanos, a masked match. Jade Rhea. Liv Steph. Bella's Nia Lash, Bailey Lycra, Charlotte Bliss. Looks like it's going to be coming out too. A 50-man tag match with the Wyatts and the MFTs. Mysterio and Gunther. That, who knows at this point, because if Mysterio's ribs are still fucking broken, this is a fucking mess. Now, I said Mello Dragunov, and Dragunov is bad at that point. A bad guy. LA Knight sells popcorn. Dom and Finn, said that before they broke up. AJ and Raquel. That's going to be wrong. That's going to be Becky. Rusev and Penta. And I said I would actually like seeing that already happen. So you see how long ago I wrote this. I'd rather have Javon Evans versus Penta. Fuck it. Just have that be a match. It'll be a great match. Let's see. Dragon and Phoenix versus the New Day. I thought that would be something good to watch too. And I went out on a limb and said Becky Lynch versus the referee, Jessica Carr, because Jessica is a wrestler. Here it is. Here's the list of who is getting cut after Mania that I have here. I have Apollo. I have Rusev. I have the Raiders, the War Raiders. I have Otis. I have Tozawa. I have Nikita Lyons. That's what I had on here so far. So yeah, I should sit down and actually make a fucking longer list because I think some of the MFTs are going to get shit canned. I think the Wyatts could get shit canned. There's a lot they can cut. There's a lot. So I wonder if they'll be jumping over to AEW, and when Old Tone sees something and says, oh, you know what? Get me over here. Let me do something. So, all right. I think we're done here, guys. We are through. It is 9:30 in the evening. Old Cali time. Oh, last one. You asked Faust who would be bigger, Oba or Braun. I think Oba by a mile. I don't see it with Braun. I find him to be sloppy. He's intense and moves quick, but isn't as smooth and doesn't talk that well. I agree with you to a point. I don't think he's sloppy. I don't get it either. I wasn't one of those people that was like, oh, I see that fucking superstar. In NXT, when he was kicking the NXT logo and all that, I was like, I just didn't do it for me. So yeah, Oba, it's very different though, because you got one guy that's like more compact size that can go against everybody. One of those things where Oba's big, like you almost think with, Big Show, where you go, well, fuck, it's, you can't have a match with certain guys, shit like that. But because Oba's big like that, but not goofy big. So I don't know. He's way fucking over though. And my whole thing was, I think Gunther needs to win the world title this year and then goes to Mania with that title. And we get Oba going to Mania, who could actually win the Rumble. And that's the next time that Gunther actually loses a match, and it is to Oba at WrestleMania. That is my thought. That's where I think. Oba is a monster. I think the fact that Brock is willing to work with him is huge. Brock gets it. Yeah. And I was softened by the emotion by Oba when, like, you saw tears coming down his face. It wasn't the Sasha and Bianca going, oh, we're having a match. He was still his regular self, just had tears on his face. He wasn't like fucking making goofy cry faces. And I appreciated him even more that way because it showed he gave a shit and that he cared about the moment, and he didn't just go, yeah, I'm here like for the money. One of those. He didn't have Ron Gant's money and all that kind of shit. So to me, it just felt bigger, and like he felt he knew what this meant, and it wasn't just a fucking who cares thing. And Brock was made by people all his career when he made him, and so now it's his turn, and I think he's good enough to give that back and say, now I'm going to make somebody. So I like that too, that Brock isn't just like, fuck all you guys, I'm here for my money, go fuck yourselves. So all right, guys, I am out of here. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see how often we do it and see when we do it. Depends. If I'm going to do it, I give some notice so everybody knows when this is going to come up, and we can pop it on and see what the hell people think, right? That's what we'll do. So, all right, guys, I am out of here. Let's see what sound effect I should do on my way out, right? I can go like, I could do like this. All right. Have a good weekend, guys, and we will fucking see you next, whenever we do it. Patreon.com/Lingus Mafia. Check it out and vote on Miss Lingus. That is at Lingus Mafia, the pinned tweet. Vote. It's your patriotic duty to vote for ass.
Why was I born handsome instead of rich?
Lee Fittings.